NYRT, the minority group polled members' views and presented them at the special session of the Majlis. Scattered demonstrations were reported from various parts of Tehran today. A group of protesters chanting slogans blocked traffic on Pahlavi Avenue from Shahreza intersection through Valiat Square for 45 minutes before it was cleared by security forces. Another group of demonstrators marched along 24 Isfand Square towards Eisenhower Avenue. Chanting slogans, they caused traffic jams by setting fire to tires and felling trees onto the road. No security officials were seen along Eisenhower Avenue up to Nawab Avenue intersection. No demonstrations were reported today in southern Tehran, but most shops were closed on Rudaki, Gomruk, Koshtargah, Molavi and Javadieh avenues. Some people carrying placards held demonstrations at Behisht Zahra Cemetery this morning. An NIRT reporter says he saw 3 bodies at the cemetery. Upon inquiry, he was told these were casualties from yesterday's riots. However, this has not yet been confirmed. Demonstrations were also reported from the cities of Tabriz, Rezaieh, Shabistar and Shiraz today. Protesters marched through Tabriz streets. They were dispersed by the security forces. In Rezaieh and Shiraz, protesters held rallies to condemn the killing of a university professor at the Ministry of Science building in Tehran yesterday. Rationing of fuel and oil products has been enforced in Iran. In an announcement, the chairman of the National Iranian Oil Company said today the general strike by oil industry workers and non-operation of oil refineries in the country has led to the rationing. Abdullah Intizam warned that if the oil industry strike continues, short supplies of oil products would last for only a few days despite the rationing. He urged the striking workers to revise their decision, otherwise there will be grave consequences to the extent that even bread supplies to the general public will be cut due to lack of fuel. The NIOC chairman hoped that leaders act in accordance to the tenets of Islam in this case and issue necessary counsel to those concerned. All international and domestic flights of Iran Air were cancelled today due to the strike by the airline's staff and aircraft technicians. And now for international news. After a long illness and coma of several weeks, Algerian President Houari Boumediene died today. Algeria's Governing Revolutionary Council announced this morning. There is no immediate successor to the president. Algeria's constitution requires the National Liberation Front, the country's only legal political party, to meet within 45 days to nominate a new president. The nominee is then presented for election by the people. Boumediene was one of the most prominent Third World leaders. The official New China news agency reports Wang Zhengchun has been appointed as vice premier. Disgraced during the Cultural Revolution, the 71-year-old Wang was a close colleague of the late chairman Mao Zedong. Wang's appointment was proposed by party chairman and premier Hua Kufang. His appointment was unanimously adopted at the 5th session of the Standing Committee of the 5th National People's Congress in Peking yesterday. With Wang's appointment, China now has 14 vice premiers. Egypt yesterday described as premature reports of an upcoming meeting between Egyptian, American and Israeli officials. The Middle East news agency quotes a senior government official as saying Cairo has not yet been contacted on this. And Al-Ahram newspaper says both Egypt and Israel are reviewing their positions, and adds the move in Middle East peace will come from the United States. Meanwhile, Israel indicates readiness to resume negotiations with Egypt, but only on arrangements for implementation of West Bank and Gaza Strip autonomy and security provisions in the Sinai Desert. Prime Minister Menachem Begin stated Israel's position yesterday. This followed a special session cabinet debate on whether to make further concessions to Egypt in order to reactivate peace talks. The debate was inconclusive and the cabinet deferred a decision to its next session Sunday. And finally, Former Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was released from jail last night. Nearly 2,000 supporters cheered and tossed flowers in greeting when she left prison. Gandhi again denied being guilty of contempt of parliament and breach of privilege. She says Parliament's vote to expel and jail her was only politically motivated. Gandhi's arrest and week-long imprisonment touched off nationwide protests. At least 20 people were killed and many were injured. In the weather outlook, the Caspian coast region will be partly cloudy to cloudy with scattered showers. Azerbaijan, the western parts of the country, will be